have 8 cues that I want you to follow when performing the deadlift, okay? So we're gonna run through these 8 cues right now. Starting with the first one, we wanna make sure that the back remains flat throughout the entire movement, okay? We don't want any rounding in the lumbar spine. People tend to compensate and use the lumbar spine to get strength. This is something we wanna avoid, okay? So we want to bring the bar in nice and tight. We're going to have our hips high, back is flat, shoulders are pulled back, lats are engaged, okay? Driving up and down and up and down. So the second cue I have for you guys is we want to make sure that the bar stays nice and tight into the shins, okay? So we're going to keep the bar nice and tight in, and we're going to drive the bar straight up and along the body, and you clear the knees. The reason why we're doing this is because if the bar travels out here and we're pulling like this, you're loading everything into your lower back. We want to avoid that. The third cue, the bar is going to travel straight up and down, okay? So exactly like what I just built off of what I just said, we want to make sure the bar is traveling like this and not out and then in like that, okay? So the fourth cue we have for you guys is engaging the lats. So we want to take all the slack out of the bar and bring tension into the lats before we pull. So we're down like this. So this would be the opposite of what I want you to do. Jerking, like that, okay? So we want to make sure we pull up. You'll hear a click in the bar, okay? Load the lats by pulling your hands back and in, and then you're going to drive up. So my lats are engaged the whole movement. So the fifth cue I have for you guys is the hip plane that we're going to be moving in. So hips, this is a hip dominant movement when we're doing the deadlift, right? So we're going to be traveling like this, okay? So when we're deadlifting, I'm constantly thinking of driving my hips forward, driving my hips back. So the sixth cue I have for you guys is to not lock your knees out too early. So by that I mean when we're coming down into the movement and our hips are high, we go to clear. If I lock my knees out like that, I'm pulling with my lower back. So we want to stay to about here. We clear the knees, we lock the knees out at the top. Okay, so wait till you clear the knees, right about here, and then we go into a locked out position by pulling the glutes into our body. All right, so the seventh cue I have for you guys is to not dip your hips in the movement, okay? This is not a squat. We want to keep the hips nice and high when we're doing this, okay? So by this, I mean keeping the hips like this. We're not in the starting position. We're not sitting down into it to pull up, okay? That's the mechanics of a squat, okay? So hips remain high, and I pull with the glutes and the hips as they move in and the glutes move into the body. And the last cue I have for you guys is to be mindful of the touch and go process that people use at the gym. I'm a huge supporter of using good form with the deadlift. It's essential to prevent injury and to get nice muscular gains. So we want to make sure, especially if we're lifting heavy, if you're lifting lighter, it tends to not be as big of a deal, but we want to avoid this. Just dumping and moving right back into it again. Your form will become compromised. So what I want you guys to do is come down, set the bar down, re-engage lats, pull up. So I always use my lats re-engaging as a way to kind of get my grip back and to keep my form nice and strong. So there you have it. Those are my 8 cues to make sure that you're deadlifting properly at the gym. Go get them.